Hello and welcome to the Elite Chat brought to you by Chopin Online TV. My name is Nasif Shalagberu. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program today. As you all know, the Elite Chat is a show where we feature informed guests to talk about various issues. Joining me on the program today is the coordinator of Grassroots Youth Front, a support group for Atiku Abubakar and PDP candidates here in Kwara State. I have in the studio Barrister Farid Abdulrazzaq. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program, sir.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started very quickly. A lot of viewers at home would like to know what your support group is all about.
So, what brought about GYF is the fact that we want growth, development, and we want a change from the norm. What is going on in Nigeria now? We're tired, and I believe people are tired. So in my own capacity, and what I can do is not to just sit down in my house, but to call like-minded youths and for us to come together and form something and then support somebody that we feel has the best interest of Nigerians at heart. And for us, the only person we've seen is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And then in Kwara State again, fortunately for us again, the gubernatorial candidate of the PDP is somebody of sound mind. So we've thrown our full support behind them, and we will campaign, we will go door to door, house to house for PDP.
Okay, so why do you think APC should be out of government in Kwara?
That question is very, very, very easy, and everybody can see. The APC, when they came in 2019, they came on the mantra of Otoge, that they were tired. My question to them back then was, what are you tired of? But now, my question to them now is, they've been there. What have they done? They have failed in every aspect. They failed to hold local government elections. They have failed to build infrastructure. Even in the agricultural sector, they have failed. Everything. There's nothing in Kwara today. As a youth in Kwara, if you strive to go to school, you acquire education, you strive, maybe you struggle to pay. But then, after all of that, you come to Kwara State, the state does not have anything to offer you. After 3 years of their administration, and it is open fact, everybody can see that they've made so much money, they've gotten so much money in allocations, in grants, in loans, and every other thing. But there is nothing to show for it in the state.
So
there are no jobs.
Have not done any projects?
I mean, you can see there's no project. Like, over the last 3 years, we've not seen anything. The governor has not commissioned anything. You look at Rivers State, look at Oyo State, look at what our governor, our PDP governor is doing in Akwa Ibom, Udom Emmanuel. Look at all of those. Look at all those states and compare it to what we have in Kwara State today. You see that this government, they've messed up.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. A lot of supporters of APC in Kwara describe the 16 years spent by your party as a rot. What will be your reaction to this?
That is very laughable. That is very, very laughable. You mean the cargo terminal is a rot, or the passenger terminal, Dr. Bukola Saraki, our leader? You mean what he built for us to be able to travel from Lagos to Ilorin to Abuja, even Hajj and Umrah, people go from there. You call that a rot? Dualization of various roads in Kwara State today, is that a rot? We have Shunga farms, is that a rot? We have the diagnostic center. Is that a rot? It is very laughable. Even the Kwara State University today was a project of His Excellency Dr. Bukola Saraki. So when they say rot, we laugh. We have KWASU, we have the Aviation College that has produced alumnus. They are now flying for different airlines in Nigeria and even abroad. We have a lot of other projects that Dr. Bukola Saraki facilitated. And then when we now go to Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed, he also did his own part, and he did very well, because he constructed over 200 kilometers of road. He built the Ivy Tech Center. He built the, what do you call it again, the new secretariat in Kwara. He was the one that facilitated it. And then the advent of KWIRS, the Inland Revenue Service, that has driven our funds in the state. This was Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed's initiative. If not for him, the government today would not be reaping all of those things. And my answer to them is, it's I don't know what to say, but I find it very ridiculous. And this is what you see from people that came into government with propagandas, lies. Till today, they can't campaign on their own achievements. They only campaign and come and tell people, oh, 16 years of rot, this and that, why don't you come? Okay, 16 years of rot, what have you done? Let Kwarans point out and say, okay, this is what this government did for them. Other than sharing money to market women, nobody is saying that initiative is bad, but that is not sustainable, and that will lead to nowhere. People are on the streets hungry, children are not going to school still, and all of those things, yet you're still blaming PDP for your own mistakes. It's very laughable.
Okay, so let's take a look at what happened in 2019. You know, your party was defeated by the Otoge movement across the 16 local governments of Kwara State. So how prepared is your party this time around to reclaim Kwara?
The People's Democratic Party is very prepared to reclaim power, and I'm sure in all the 16 local governments, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will be victorious, Yaman Abdullah Shuaib will be victorious, all our candidates will be victorious, because when you look at them, they are people of capacity. They're not people that will come on TV and make empty promises. They're not even people that will shy away from the media. When I can count and say, I can even boldly say, the governor today has not attended any media interview. I have not seen one. The only interaction he had was when they were asking him about borrowed funds. And even from that interaction, you would understand that the people in government today, they are not meant to be there because they lack the ideas. And Kwarans, they've seen, they know, people know that, okay, we can't continue like this. What we were experiencing before was way better than what we have now. Well, it's like a child that has always had access to everything, and then just out of the child's curiosity was like, I want to move out of this house to another house. They are not treating me well in this house. And then the child moves to that house and sees that, oh, my former house is actually better than this.
So you mean the PDP is actually better than APC?
100%, 100%. In all ramifications, how can they look and say the next thing on their agenda is to convert a cargo terminal to a garment factory? I'm not saying a garment factory is bad, but a cargo terminal is a critical infrastructure for any state, for anywhere in the world, not just even states, even countries. It is a critical infrastructure. It's situated in the airport. And then you now said, oh, the next thing you have to do with that cargo terminal is to convert it into a garment factory. Okay.
So let's move away from that. Looking at the governorship candidates in Kwara, we have like 5 or 6 of them who are part of the Otoge movement. We have the governorship candidate of your party, Alhaji Shuaib Abdullah Yaman. He is part of the Otoge struggle in 2019. We have the incumbent governor, Farid Abdulrazzaq. We have Akim Lawa from the Social Democratic Party, SDP. We have Professor Oba Ibrahim from NNPP, and we have Alhaji Waziri Yakubu Gobiri is contesting under the YPP. These people are part of the Otoge struggle in 2019. What do you think your candidates have that differentiates him? I'm talking about his unique selling points.
Firstly, I would say the Otoge movement in 2019 was a movement of propaganda, lies, and deceit. They deceived the Kwara people. If you critically look at their campaigns back then, they did not tell us their plans for Kwara. All they were screaming about everywhere is Otoge, no to Saraki, no to PDP. Meanwhile, at that time, Saraki was not the governor. It was a different governor. But that's not the case. That wasn't the case then. It wasn't like people were finding it very difficult like they are finding it now. Now people have seen that, okay, the previous government was actually trying its best to position the state in a proper place. But these ones, they don't even care about positioning us where we should be. They've taken us backwards. They've really taken us backwards. And then you said, remind me again about the question.
I said, what's the unique selling point of your candidates? I'm talking about all other candidates that are contesting. They are all part of the Otoge movement. So what is now what is the unique selling point of your candidate? What do you think your candidate has that others?
I mean, our candidate has demonstrated that he has capacity, and his campaign has not been flagged off yet, but he has been having various media chats, and from all his media chats, we all can see that this is a man that understands the assignment. He has capacity, he has served in various levels, even to the federal level. He has done a lot in his own personal capacity, and he has, for example, this man briefed us on what he is going to do in the agricultural sector. He said he would mechanize agriculture, and he broke down his plans on that sector. And then he spoke about the aviation sectors too. These are things that if any state should dive into, most especially with Kwara State, the fact that Kwara State is in a strategic location, there are some things that we ought to have in place. Some of them are already in place, but the lack of continuity. And why have we seen why are we experiencing lack of continuity now? Is because the government of the day, they've politicized everything, and what I can sense is whatever project or whatever accomplishment the PDP has recorded, they try not to go back there and look at ways they can improve those things. For example, that's what's happening with the cargo terminal now. I keep mentioning this cargo terminal because this is something that if proper investments were put in place, it will drive the economy of the state, and it will open up the state to the world, not just to Nigerians alone. It will open up the state to the world. But what we have today, Alhaji Farid Abdulrazzaq, he understands the assignment, and I'm very confident he will deliver.
Okay, so now let's talk about your party at the national level. A lot of Nigerians, refer to the presidential candidate of APC. I'm talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot of Nigerians refer to him as one of the great politicians. So now your candidate will be battling him for the presidential seat. How do you think your candidate has the political structure to battle him for presidency?
No doubt about the fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a strong politician. But one thing people should also understand is, in as much as Tinubu is a strong politician, Alhaji Atiku is also a strong politician, even stronger than Tinubu, because he has been the vice president of this country before. And then when he was vice president, that was the time we experienced a little bit of prosperity in Nigeria. I mean, every other PDP administration after their own has performed well to a certain level, but then it is significant. Their own time is significant because we saw a lot of changes, new things came into Nigeria, and then this is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a man who understands the plight of Nigerians, because he's an administrator, he's an educator, he's a unifier. You can see that in his family. He doesn't differentiate, no tribe, and he's very conversant with the fact that the Nigerian society is a very sensitive society. He tries to make sure everyone is on board. He tries his best to make sure everyone is on board. That's why you can see that from our ticket, Atiku Okowa. When you compare it to Asiwaju's ticket, it's a Muslim ticket. For crying out loud, I'm a Muslim. But then it is not my duty to fight for Islam. I am not to fight for Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he has solidified Islam. Nobody can erase Islam from the world. But then again, you have to be sensitive and cautious of your society. We have Christians here and we have other people here. So if you say, oh, you want to be president and then also vice president, that is wrong. In the interest of equity and fairness, that is very wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Your party seems to be talk of the town every time because of the crisis rocking the party. The governor of Rivers State and your presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, I'm talking about their crisis. Do you think your party will go into this election on a united front?
I mean, personally, I'm not very conversant with what's going on in that aspect. But then, what I know is we will always have rancors like that. That is the beauty of democracy. People will go into disagreement, they will fall out, but what's humanity if we cannot come back together? And I see what's happening in the PDP as a fight, not even a fight, as a misunderstanding between brothers. I know Governor Wike will come on board because this is a man that has always spoken about how he loves this party, and he also made a statement on the night of the primary election. He said he will support this party.
But he hasn't shown any support to Atiku yet.
I mean, the elections are in February, so like there's still time for them to reconcile. Everyone is on holiday now, so like when January comes, we'll see. We would see. And for me, I hope Governor Wike will come on board, and I'm very certain the PDP will be victorious in this coming election. Okay. Because there is no other person that has promised something reasonable and something achievable and something that will drive the economy, drive the growth of this country other than Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Every other person they've all been abusing, insulting, trying to degrade our own candidate. But as you can see, our candidate is not deterred. He doesn't reply them, which is something very, very interesting for all of the insults they give to Atiku. Atiku doesn't have time to reply them. He is focused on the assignment, and which we will go on that journey with him, and we'll make sure Alhaji Atiku Abubakar comes out victorious. Okay, so you're one of the youths in Kwara politics now. What do you think your party have in stock for the youths of the state? I mean, now PDP in the state, as you can see, they convened a youth campaign council before even the state campaign council. That's to show you that the PDP is cognizant of the fact that youths are yearning for involvement, and a lot of them are saying a lot of things has changed compared to the way it was before. Youths are now getting involved. We can see our director for the youth, for the support group is a youth. We can see a lot of people in the media team for the campaign who are youth. We can see critical stakeholders now who are youths in the state. Even, in fact, a candidate, House of Assembly candidate is a very young chap, and a lot of other candidates are young chaps like that. So, and I'm confident there are people of capacity. They will do it.
Okay. So the election now is just a month away now. What will be a word of advice to the people of Kwara and Nigeria at large?
I mean, one thing first is Nigerians are tired. That is very clear. Nigerians are very tired. There's no dispute about that. But my advice to people that still have it in mind to vote for APC is that, are they not tired of the way things are going on in the country, from insecurity to hunger? Now we are the poverty capital of the world. How many are we? We're not even as much as India. We're not even half of India. But then there's so much poverty here, yet we're so blessed with different things. We have arable land, we can feed ourselves. But then, just because of the bad government of APC, since for the last 7 years now, Nigeria has just been going down, 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 down. Under the PDP, how much was the dollar exchanging for? Under the PDP, how much was rice? Under the PDP, you could travel from Kwara State to Kaduna without having problems. Under the PDP, you could sleep in your house. We had security challenges, but that was just in some states in the northeast. But now it's all across board. Everywhere in Nigeria, you cannot sleep with both eyes closed. So I want Nigerians to see that APC has done a lot of harms to us rather than good. There's no point bringing them to power, because if we do that, we are reinstating failure, and that should be a slap on our face. And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has also promised that if elected as president, he would grant local government autonomy bill. That is something very interesting. Like we are seeing here in Kwara State today, where the state government, led by the governor, would sit on funds meant for the local government, would fail to convene a local government election. All of this will not be happening again if this bill is passed into law. That's one. He also said they would delegate more resource control to the state government. That would be good. Kwara State, we have cocoa, we have gold, we have a lot of other mineral resources. These are all things that can drive our revenue and create jobs for people, because with that, investors will come. State governors will be able to think outside the box, how to make more money for the state and all of that. So it is the only option we have right now is PDP. There is no other party. There is no other party. The other parties out there are just after breaking Nigeria. They really bank on the fact that people are actually not united, and they're banking on that fact, using it in their, we can see it every day from their actions, different things. So the only party that intends to unify Nigeria is PDP, and we will all rally behind Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
All right, so we've come to the end of the program. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe across all our social media platforms. My name is still remain Nasib Shalagberu. See you next week.